Speaking of, what? Things like that. But why were they having lunch there? What? When I was young, you packed a lunch. And again, when I was young, you packed a lunch. When I was young, you packed a lunch. My most important video that I've literally ever made on this channel. I'm tired. I've been working 14 hours a day, whether it's YouTube, whether it's helping Steven Crowder, which I think we're finally in a good spot there. I'm on fumes, like pure gas fumes. But this decision, this minute, this moment is so important that I'm willing to F up my entire week. I'm uploading a video at 11 o'clock at night, but if you don't get out of bed as a fellow content creator, if you don't wake up, fight for this, I don't ever want to hear your freaking opinion ever again about freedom of speech. But if you are not waking up and creating a Twitter account right now to vote no to tell Elon Musk to not step down on Twitter, you don't care as much as I do.
TheQuartering is a political YouTuber who perfectly exemplifies what the Twitter news cycle can do to a man. While his overall work ethic and productivity can't be denied, it's quite obvious he's, as many would say, stuck in the weeds. I mean, when you're at the point where you don't really care about Harry Potter and you haven't played video games in a while, but now that Hogwarts Legacy has somehow become a cultural battleground, you're like, oh, well, I think I'm gonna actually play more games this year. Then it might just be time to go for a walk.
Yes, it's been a while since I had much to say about the video games. Well, I can tell you that in 2023, I'm hoping to play a little bit more of those said video games. And one of the most highly anticipated games, one of the games with the biggest ceiling, in my opinion, is, of course, Hogwarts Legacy. Most people love the movies. I think they hold up decently. I didn't watch them this year. I normally watch them like around Christmas time. And something about like the little kids, like it feels like little kidsy still to rewatch, but I guess they still kind of hold up, just not as well as like Lord of the Rings, for example. But I've got a lot of interest in this series. Of course, anything attached to J.K. Rowling these days is the literal worst thing ever.
So there's an attempted boycott around Hogwarts Legacy, a game that J.K. Rowling stands to profit from. But the boycott was ineffective because the game is selling pre-orders so well. When TheQuartering is covering this, he says you shouldn't buy the game just to own the libs. First of all, it's absolutely insane to me that purchasing a Harry Potter video game could be seen as owning the libs. Second of all, TheQuartering gives some mixed signals on whether or not purchasing this game could be seen as any sort of political win.
The game's got to be good for me. I'm not gonna like run out and buy it just to own the libs, and I'm not going to tell people to go buy it to own the libs. I think you should enjoy things and buy things that deserve to be bought, because ultimately, long term, if you're just supporting things for ideological reasons, you end up with crap products. This particular product, the Harry Potter open world, I mean, really has a Harry Potter world game like this could seriously have a high ceiling. The desperate attempts and meltdowns to get people to boycott this game have done nothing but propel it to the front and center. And February 10th, when it comes out, I'll be watching closely. Now, what's Hogwarts Legacy's long-term plan? It's an open world action RPG. I mean, are they going to have DLC down the line? Are they going to have, they have so much content. They've got Hufflepuff common room, the Slytherin common room. They've got mounts in the game, which almost certainly will open themselves up to DLC related things like that. But like, the game looks pretty good. It's obviously going to be pretty popular, coming from Avalanche and Warner Brothers Games.
Jesus, there's a paid sponsorship in this video. He promotes his company throughout the video. It's probably fully monetized with mid-roll ads. Then he takes 30 seconds to read a Steam page for a video game he clearly knows nothing about. He says you shouldn't buy the game for ideological reasons, but he seems way too invested in how this game winds up selling. I understand the boycott was started by the opposition to TheQuartering's political party, But how many times do we need to rehash the J.K. Rowling drama of all things? Anybody who's been paying attention knows this argument doesn't go anywhere for either side. Sometimes the Twitter news cycle makes people chase their tails. At other times, it causes people to chase cars, so to speak.
I believe in his mind, he had always planned on stepping down as Twitter CEO, but it is too soon. It is too early. He is feeling, in my opinion, some questioning, some self-doubt. I still believe he is the absolute best person on the planet to be the CEO of this platform. The de facto important decision platform, whatever country you're in, okay? But it's too early. It's too early, and he's not done yet. If you are a creator and free speech matters to you, and you don't immediately make a video, you don't immediately make a tweet, you don't immediately make an Instagram post, then I'll know you were lying about caring about free speech.
So yeah, TheQuartering has this weird thing about tweeting at Elon. This is a battle for the future of civilization. If free speech is lost even in America, tyranny is all that lies ahead. Elon, can you please be more specific? Most of us understand the fight for free speech online and the collusion duopoly that exists, but people need a more precise target. Would you be open to a 10-minute Zoom interview? I have 1.4 million subscribers and fight for free speech too. I think I have been very specific. This obsession with Twitter and Elon Musk would ultimately lead TheQuartering to one of his most embarrassing moments yet. An upload he would later delete, where he treats a Twitter poll like it's an apocalyptic event. Oh, and it definitely seems like he had been drinking.
My most important video that I've literally ever made on this channel. I'm 40 years old. I'm tired. All of my viewers know that I have worked more than any man should work in a week this week between my own channel and helping Crowder. But if you don't get out of bed as a fellow content creator, if you don't wake up, fight for this, I don't ever want to hear your freaking opinion ever again about freedom of speech. Yes, I know he replies to that loser Ian Miles song, but he does listen to people, okay? He listens to people. And like, do you want a CEO that doesn't do that? Because that's what is probably going to happen, right? That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen if you don't vote no on his profile. Look, I'm so tired, okay? I'm so tired.
Here's a little lesson in diplomacy. There aren't many situations where direct social pressure and yelling actually do any good, especially if you're talking about people who pretty much already agree with you. No matter what your political background is, a Twitter poll is still just a Twitter poll. I can't believe how long TheQuartering has been around, and he still hasn't learned not to take social media that seriously. But we need Twitter to keep up with the news and current events.
No, we don't. Why don't you do something that actually matters instead of, I'm sacrificing my algo, like, this is so, oh my god, like, this is my most important video of all time. Like, bro, do something. Like, do something that actually matters.
Alright, considering how much I hate Hassan and the fact he's being incredibly hypocritical here, I do still have to say that's probably the funniest bit he's ever done. The main reason why I'm making this video about TheQuartering is often one of my biggest critiques for Hassan as well. When you're a content creator who is this plugged into Twitter, Twitter essentially starts to dictate your own thoughts, opinions, and ultimately your content. Considering the size of both of their audiences, they only add to the cyclical nature of the news cycle. If it were TheQuartering's goal to sloppily cover as many topics from a right-wing perspective as possible, I would say he's doing a fantastic job. But going off of the way he behaves on Twitter, this means far more to him than just news coverage. The world's gonna keep on turning whether we hear TheQuartering's opinion on Velma or not. He does cover more serious topics, but his whole channel is scattershot. On YouTube, it seems like he's trying to cast the widest net he can for conservatives. But on Twitter, he comes across as a desperate and confused free speech advocate. I don't know, maybe that's his idea of networking. Either way, his deep attachment to Twitter isn't good for him or his channel.
And you make the claim that because blogs have an infinite amount of space to fill, the bar lowers for what the quality of their content. But because a lot of the mainstream news outlets have a lot of their content coming from online as well, isn't the bar lowered across the board?
Absolutely. I mean, we've always sort of joked about how having to fill a 24/7 cycle makes cable news just talk about total well, what if it was a infinite cycle?
As the speed of the news cycle continues to increase, it's important to be aware of the potential consequences. With the endless sea of information, it's more important now than ever to choose your battles wisely. Alright, that's gonna have to do it for this one. Shout out to the best subscriber squad in all of YouTube. I hope everybody has a wonderful day.
I wanted to give this district enough chance to change their minds, to be democratic, to do things the way they're supposed to be done.